Hi ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys are doing great today. Today we're going to discuss healing, okay? And in this video I'm going to give you some of the signs that indicate that you're healing, okay? And of course healing is a process, right? It took a long time for the damage to be done, and so it's going to take a long time to heal, right? And of course that probably depends on the individual, right? So it depends on you how long it will take you. It depends on you whether you're going to do the work, right? It depends on you, how you will go about it, right? It depends on you how long it will take you to forgive, right? Because healing is all about, first of all, forgiveness, right? And understanding. If someone really hurt you and wounded you, right, then it's probably going to take a while to forgive them, right? And by forgiving, we release these negative emotions that have been stored, right, for a long time. We release the emotions, we release the energy that's no longer serving us, okay? And so when you do that, you're going to recognize, or you're going to realize that you feel lighter, okay? And also, by removing the energy that's no longer serving you, you're also going to start getting healthier, okay? You're going to start getting physically healthier too, not just spiritually, okay? So forgiveness is a very essential part of healing, okay? And of course, how will you forgive, right? Well, you're going to try to understand another individual, okay? So you're going to, of course, more often than not, it's our parents who have hurt us, right? Who have done the most damage. So that means that you're going to have to go back to your childhood, right? And you're going to have to, actually, no, I'm sorry, not go back to your childhood, but you're going to have to go back to understanding your parents, okay, and where they're coming from. Also, getting to know their grandparents or your grandparents all over again is also a very good idea, okay? Oftentimes what ends up happening is that, you know how as a kid, right, you used to view your grandparents in a certain light, right? And so you never took those rose glasses, even as an adult, right? And so what that means is that you didn't take the time to get to know them from another perspective, from an adult perspective, right? Because as kids, we don't understand too many things, right? We see things from a completely different perspective with rose-colored glasses, right? If we get a candy from that person, we accept it and we're really happy and we think this person is great, right? And so this kind of, seeing, you have to get to know your grandparents all over again, okay, as an adult, in order to understand what they're like as people, okay? And if you are able to understand what your grandparents are like as people, okay, and guys, if they're toxic, you are going to see a lot of, red flags, okay? You will see a lot of red flags, okay? And what that means also is that you're now going to understand why your parents were the way that they were, okay? And why they treated you that way, okay? Because more often than not, we pick up, you can say, the energetic signature, right? Or the toxic patterns from, our parents pick it up from their parents, right? And we pick it up from our parents, okay? And then we tend to pass it on to our children even, right? Which is terrible, of course, but that's, unfortunately, that's what ends up happening, okay? And so by understanding your grandparents, okay, by getting to know them, you will recognize, you will start seeing them for what they are like, okay? And usually if the parents are great, or if your grandparents are great, your parents will be great too, for the most part, okay? With some very few exceptions, okay? So yeah, there's that. Anyways, so healing also, right? Healing will require you to also recognize your own toxic patterns too, okay? You're going to have to recognize your emotions too, okay? You're going to have to understand, for example, if you tend to blow up a lot, right? And that means that you probably don't have, you're not yet capable of emotional regulation. Okay, so in this case, right, if you're blowing up a lot, if you're yelling at people, if you're screaming all the time, if you're angry, there are a lot of issues that you still haven't solved, right? And you still require a lot of healing, right? And also you need to, of course, get into you need to start basically understanding emotional regulation, right? Like before, for example, you get angry, right? You would notice the underlying emotions behind anger, right? So maybe you're beginning to get frustrated or annoyed, okay? So this is your indication of backing away from the situation, right? Taking a time out, okay? Going into another room and basically just stepping away, you know? And so this will help you, you know, this will help you stop yourself from getting to the point of boiling over and possibly damaging some relationships in the process, right? And so if you're doing this all the time, then that means your emotional regulation is not good, okay? And you need to learn emotional regulation. And guys, trust me, okay? I'm still working on that, okay? It's a process. It's a long process, just like healing, okay? And we're also sometimes also, right, we get into these toxic patterns, right? And we keep on repeating them unconsciously, you know? So it takes conscious effort not to fall into these toxic patterns, okay? Because all of us, even after healing or while we're healing, we can still fall into these toxic patterns, right? And that's a big problem, you know, because you don't want to, for example, raise your kids, if you have any kids, or if you're in a relationship, you don't want to operate in that same way, right? In that unconscious way where you're repeating those toxic patterns that you picked up as a child, you know, as a kid from your parents, okay? And so, yeah, anyway, so, you know, like healing, right, has a lot to do with it has a lot to do with understanding things, has a lot to do with using your mind in order to understand certain things, which can, and this can then help you in, you know, in many, many ways, basically, right? But also, right, healing requires for you to rewire the way your brain works, you know? So people that were abused in the past, they tend to be very negative, you know, about everything, right? And so the negativity or the negative thinking has to be rewired too. So you're going to have to kind of like, you know, start rewiring your brain to become more positive, which is also very, very challenging sometimes, but it can be done, okay? Once again, it's a process, okay? So it's not going to happen in like one day, okay? But it's a process that you can do, and with effort and time and patience, you'll be able to rewire yourself to think more positively. And what this will do is this will kind of, you know, this will help you live a more fulfilling life, okay? This will make you more positive. This will, you know, attract more positive situations into your life. This will increase your energy, right? And this will change a lot of things within you, right? And so this change must happen from within, okay? All right, guys, so back again. So anyways, where was I? Okay, so I was talking about how rewiring your brain to think more positively is also possible, but it's a process that will take a while, okay? And it might take you baby steps to get there, right? So you might have to take baby steps, like, I don't know, you know, so, because sometimes our thinking really is extremely negative, okay? And what we tend to focus on is overly negative all the time, right? And so that's not a good thing. Once again, it does decrease your energy. It makes you low vibrational, you know, basically. And so negativity also attracts negativity, right? And so you're going to attract people that will kind of like, they will feed into that negativity, right? And so it's going to make things even worse for you, okay? Basically. So once again, you know, healing also takes, it also requires stepping away from situations that are not serving you, from people that are not serving you, from the environments that are not serving you, right? And healing also, it has to be physical healing too, right? So it has to come from, you have to be aware of your foods, the foods that you're eating, right? And feed yourself live foods, right? Not dead foods like junk food, right? So there's that, right? You have to get into small habits that feed you emotionally, right? And of course, I made a whole bunch of videos talking about this, right? So healing is it's it requires a lot of things, okay? It requires a lot of things, but it is extremely possible, and so one thing that you also have to realize is that you deserve healing. You deserve, because you're not here to suffer. You're here to live your best life, and you're here to have an adventure, you're here to really enjoy life and to spread this joy around, to others, so they can enjoy their life too. And it is an internal process, and the reason being is because you can't just see someone, right? And I think, wait, so maybe I'll give you an example of this, okay? So there's the Tony Robbins, right? A lot of his audience, when they went to his shows, right, he was so positive, and they were just feeding on that energy, right? And they left the conference, after the conference, they felt recharged, they felt energized, right? They felt so happy and excited. But then after a while, that positive energy just disappeared, it dissipated, right? And oh my gosh, forgive me if I'm saying this word incorrectly, but it kind of, it disappeared basically, right? So the energy disappeared, and they were left with their own energy, right? That was probably bad, probably negative, right? And they had to deal with it, okay? Once again, right? So you can't just steal someone's good energy, right? Yes, you can maybe feed off of that for a little bit, right? But then you will still, after leaving that person, then that's it, that energy is gone, and you're left with only yourself to deal with, okay? So you have to, it's an internal process. Once again, guys, just remember that, okay? So anyways, so this video, okay, is about how you can tell that you're actually healing, right? And that it's working, and you're finally on your way to the best life that you deserve, okay? So the first thing is that you'll be able to feel again, okay? After, oftentimes, I don't know if you guys have gone through this, okay, but after the physical and the mental and the emotional abuse that I've experienced with my third boyfriend, right, I felt numb. I felt incredibly numb, and I didn't feel anything towards anyone after that. And like other guys tried to date me, and while on dates, I was thinking, like, why am I even going on these dates? Like, what's the point? I don't feel anything. And that scared the hell out of me, to be honest with you guys, okay? Because I'm naturally, I'm a very emotional person, okay? But once again, even a very emotional people after trauma, their emotions will be their emotionality will be hindered, okay? And they're going to experience a lack of emotions, okay? And so they might feel certain things, right? But then they're not going to be overly emotional about many different things, okay? And that's because of the trauma, And so it takes, if you're beginning to feel again, that's a huge sign that you're healing, okay? And if you're becoming more sensitive again, right, maybe you're laughing again, maybe you're smiling again, right? There's this genuine emotion, you want to smile, right? You want to laugh, and that fake, that that laugh is not fake, right? That smile is genuine, it's not fake. And those emotions, maybe you're watching a movie, right, and you're crying, there's a sad scene, right, and you're beginning to cry. Maybe I don't know, maybe you're going through difficulties and you're crying, right, all the time, and that's okay, right? That's part of being human, guys. We're supposed to be emotional, okay, guys and girls, and there's nothing wrong with that, okay? And that's a huge sign, guys. If you're able to express those emotions, if you're able to connect to that sadness, that happiness, that excitement, that whatever, whichever emotion, right? There's so many of them. Then that's a good sign that you're healing, okay? Also, another thing, it's in the eyes, okay, guys? Once you begin to heal, okay, your eyes are going to look so much different, okay? It's like there's going to be like an ocean in your eyes, okay? That godliness will show, okay, in your eyes, that soul, right? And when you're finally able to connect to that soul, then your eyes are going to become completely different. They're not going to be robotic. They're not going to be hurt. They're not going to express pain. They're going to express kindness, sensitivity, right? When people look into your eyes, it's like they're going to become hypnotized by them. The reason being is because you have healed, okay? Or you're healing, you're on your way there, you're almost healed, right? Then another one is that you attract better relationships, okay? You attract better relationships, and that just confirms, those relationships just confirm to you how much you've changed and how much you learn to love yourself, okay? Because those relationships are going to be so good, and the other people will treat you so well that you will just become extremely grateful, okay? I had a relationship like this, guys, with a client of mine, okay? She was a therapist, right? And I worked alongside her. I did her courses for her. I did worksheets for her. I did her blogs, right? And so basically, after that relationship and during that relationship, guys, I was just really I was really happy because I've never experienced such a good work relationship before, you know, and so I was extremely grateful for it, you know, and it just confirmed to me the fact that I can now have good relationships, and the fact that I am healing and I've healed, you know. So you will attract better relationships as your energy increases, as you change within. You're going to attract much better things, you know, better romantic relationships, better work relationships, better friendships, and just an overall better treatment that's coming from other people too, just strangers, you know. People just being naturally more respectful towards you, you know. So yeah, it's going to really, you know, that change that's going to happen within you is really going to be reflected outwards, and you're going to see it, you're going to recognize it in your environment, okay? I'm not saying that it's always going to happen, right? But for the most part that it will, and you will notice it, okay? Another indication is that you develop a zest for life again, okay, guys? You're going to want to live it up, basically, okay? You're going to, when you're depressed, when you're traumatized, you don't want to do anything anymore. You don't want to take care of yourself. You get involved in bad company, you don't treat yourself well, right? You just you're traumatized, right? So everything just falls apart, basically. Your body's breaking down, you're getting sick all the time, you're mentally ill probably, right? You're spiritually ill, basically, right? And just everything. Whoa. It's a fly. Hey, I've been trying to get rid of these flies all the time with this like a spray, but they're not going away. Like, ugh. Anyways, I'm just kidding. It's annoying, but you know, I know that once it gets a little bit cooler, which is already kind of happening, and they're gonna go away, so I can't wait. Anyway, so you develop a zest for life again, right? So you want to do things because you feel happy. You're beginning to feel happy. Your body gets more energy, right? You're eating better. You're working out probably, right? So you're feeling so much better, and because of that extra energy, you just want to do things. You want to try new things. You want to travel. You want to try playing new instruments, right? You want to listen to music. You want to, you feel joyful, you know. And if you're older, you don't feel jaded. You just feel even more energized by this life, you know. So I know as adults we get so much more jaded, right, as we're living, and so you know, I think that also kind of repulses other people too from you, you know, like I find that after a certain age, like a lot of guys, they get so jaded, you know, so that makes them, it's not their necessarily their physical looks, although that's reflected too, right, but um that jadedness that's within them just kind of ages them, you know, even more, and they just look, I don't know, they look kind of, you know, unfortunately they look like someone that I wouldn't want to, like, you know, be near, right? Because I would feel like someone that this guy is always draining me, you know. And so, and he's like a downer, right? And he's like, oh, I'm like old now, that's it, you know, life is over, right? So there's, you know, guys, if you're a girl, or if you're a woman, if you're a man, you know, don't do that, okay? Just remember that don't let, like, your age, right, your physical age define how you're going to live the rest of your life. Like, don't let social norms or social expectations dictate how you should be behaving, okay, or when you should start dating, when you should stop dating, and all of that good stuff, okay. Live your own life, you know, do whatever the heck makes you happy, you know, and forget about the rest, you know. Anyways, another thing, right, is that you're going to be very good at setting boundaries now, okay? Once you heal, you're going to love yourself, okay? And so, my kiddo is pretending to be a chicken. Kukurikoo! anyway, so once you heal, you become better at developing boundaries, right? You're not going to take any crap from anyone, okay? You're going to, with that healing comes self-respect and self-love, okay? And anyway, so once you heal, right? Once you, when unhealed, right? And when we were treated a specific way by our parents, for example, right? We thought that we deserved this nasty and poor treatment, right? Because we didn't know any better. Once you learn self-love, you actually learn what you tolerate in a relationship and what you don't tolerate, right? And so you're going to learn how to set healthy boundaries, because you already know the difference between what good treatment and bad treatment feels like, right? And so when someone is not treating you well, you're going to set those boundaries and you're going to keep them. And if they're not respecting you, right, they're not respecting your boundaries, then you're just not going to put up with it, right? You're not going to go into another toxic relationship, because you learned that, you know, you learned that you don't want that kind of relationship in your life, right? And that you do in fact deserve better, okay? So that's what happens with self-love, is that you recognize your worth, you recognize what you will tolerate and what you will not tolerate, and you're going to set those boundaries, okay? I think someone is trying to get into the video. Okay, so basically, now that's my kiddo went to play outside. Maybe he didn't. While you're healing, right, or when you heal, your confidence will skyrocket, okay, and your self-doubt will also decrease, okay? So you're going to believe in yourself more than ever, okay? With healing comes, you know, understanding your worth and your value, okay? And so you're going to value everything, your skills, you know, when you begin to heal, you're going to experience decreased self-doubt and increased confidence, okay? And what that means is that you're finally going to recognize your value, what do you bring to the table, okay, your skills perhaps, okay, and you're going to start charging for them, you know, you're going to increase your price probably, okay. When we don't value ourselves, it translates into every aspect of our lives, okay. We start we allow people to treat us a certain way, right, while taking it. We allow you know, our boss to speak to us a certain way, and we still stay, right, because of the money. And when you finally start healing, you're going to you know, you're going to have a good relationship with yourself, and you're going to recognize your value, and you're going to not put up with a lot of different things, and you're going to increase your price, right, you're going to charge for what you deserve, basically, okay. So low confidence, right, and traumatic individuals tend to also, you know, they tend to continue putting up with low wages, right, because they don't value what they bring to the table. They think they're not smart, not intelligent enough, they think they don't deserve better, right, in any aspect of their life, which is not true, okay. More often than not, they do deserve a lot of great things, right, and they do have a lot of skills. It's just they don't believe that, okay. And so that's the thing. Like, here's the thing, once you do finally start valuing yourself and start healing, right, then you're going to start, you know, recognizing the value that you bring to the table, okay, and in turn you're going to attract better situations, better opportunities, and you're probably going to start getting paid a lot more too, okay. And then finally, last but not least, I'm still struggling with this one, but I'm getting a little bit better, okay. Definitely much better from the way that I used to be, okay. Emotional regulation, okay. So I used to blow up over every little thing, basically. I used to get into fights with a lot of people, you know. I used to, like, into verbal fights, you know, not physical ones. And this as you're healing, you're also going to realize a lot of things about other people, okay. You're going to realize that more often than not, you don't have to allow a triggering situation to, or another individual to control the way that you react to them, okay. That's one thing, right. Another is you're going to recognize the value of your energy, okay. You're going to recognize that every time you blow up, you not only does your mood get negatively impacted, but you also allow the other individual to control you, okay. And so you're letting them know, like, oh yeah, you can control my mood, right, you can dictate the way that I feel, okay. But when you actually begin healing, you recognize that by getting out of control and reacting negatively all the time, you're giving your power away, you're giving your energy away to another person, okay, to an external source, okay, and that's not a good thing. So you're going to, as you're healing, you're going to start getting better at emotionally regulating yourself, okay. You're going to learn your triggers, you're going to learn how to handle bad situations, you're going to learn how to handle situations when you're getting overly angry, okay. And yeah, you're going to try to regulate those emotions and not let yourself get out of control, okay. Yeah, and I guess that's it for today, guys. I think this is a pretty long video, okay. I hope I helped, you know. Also, feel free to check out my courses, okay. Feel free to check out my book. It's a healing guide that I've created for all of you guys who are in need of healing, okay. And there I give you a lot of different strategies that you can use in order to heal, okay. Also, I'm trying to create a children's positivity book, guys, okay. So feel free to donate on GoFundMe, okay. I'm really like I will appreciate the donations so much, because I'm really trying to bring this book to life, okay. And every bit helps, okay. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and stay tuned for another video. Okay, bye.